All right, our next video we're going to make is cross elasticity. So this, unlike price elasticity, which looked at sensitivity to a change in the price of the good itself, now we're looking at when the price of one good, let's say good Y, changes, how do buyers of good X, a different good, respond? So here we're kind of, again, thinking back to chapter 4, talking about substitute goods and complementary goods for consumers. How are these goods, X and Y, related? And we're going to, in this problem, or these problems, calculate cross-elasticity, and then figure out, based on our answer, are the goods substitutes or complements? Or if you got an answer of 0, they would be unrelated. All right, so here's our general equation. Cross-elasticity. The percent change in quantity demanded divided of good y, X divided by the percent change in the price of good Y. So the first step is calculate the cross-elasticity between X and Y. All right, so basically we're just plugging this into our equation here. Let's actually highlight that. All right, so we've got EXY equals, so it's the percent change in quantity demanded of chicken, right? And that falls, so we're going to use negative sign to represent it falls, or a decrease. A decrease in quantity demanded when the price of tofu falls 10%. So price of good Y and quantity of good X move in the same direction, right? They both fall. So first off, let's calculate our cross-elasticity. Negative divided by negative is a positive, and it's 0.4. There's our answer. So what does that mean? Are these goods, X and Y, complements, substitutes, or unrelated? All right, so here the key is not, unlike price elasticity, not the magnitude of that number, but the sign, positive or negative. All right, so in this case, it's positive. If we get a cross elasticity that is positive, that means the goods are substitutes. Okay, so let's say instead of chicken and tofu, this said good X, good Y. How would we know? Well, again, let's just think of an example, okay? How are two goods related? If they were substitutes, that would be like Coke and Pepsi, Sprite and 7-Up, Gatorade, Powerade, okay? So think about this to yourself. Plug in, instead of tofu and chicken, plug in Coke and Pepsi. When the price of Coke falls 10%, do we buy more Pepsi or less Pepsi? Yeah, obviously, we're going to buy less Pepsi, right? If the price of Coke falls, price of tofu falls, then we're going to buy more Coke. And that means buy less Pepsi, right? So if the price of Y falls and the quantity of good X, the other good, falls, that must mean we get a positive answer. The goods are substitutes. Price and quantity go the same direction. And by that same token, right, if the price of the price of Coke triples, what are we going to do? We're going to buy more Pepsi, the other good. Again, that would tell us these two goods are substitutes when price and quantity demanded across the two goods are positively related. Now, on the flip side, what if we get a price elasticity that is negative? That means the goods are substitutes. So for example, this one here, quantity of chips falls 12%. So let's plug that in. When price of salsa rises 15%. All right, so what's our answer? We get a negative answer, right? Negative divided by positive is negative 0.8. There's our answer. Okay, so when we get a negative result, again, that's the key, the sign. Negative means complements. All right, and again, if you're not sure, plug in an example. Okay, Coke and Pepsi, would that work here? So say to yourself, okay, if the price of Pepsi rose 15%, would it make sense to buy less Coke? No, we buy more Coke. Therefore, these can't be substitute goods. So let's try. Oh, chips and salsa. When the price of salsa rose 15%, are we going to buy less chips? Yes, right? Because price of salsa goes up, we buy less salsa. Therefore, you're going to buy less chips, the thing that goes with it. So again, if we get a negative answer, that means our two goods are complements. All right, there we have it. You can try, I'm not going to do part 2. You can try that one at home. That's a little bit more complicated. You can try it at home. If you want to come in to my office hours and check your answer or email it to me, that's fine. But again, I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm going to cut it off here. The last video next in the series is income elasticity. That will be our final video. All right, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you with the next video.